I am going to call to order the special meeting of the Darien Police Commission, our 2,428th meeting. First order of business, acceptance of minutes dated February 3rd. Motion to approve.
Move to approve.
I have no questions or comments, so all those in favor? It's just two of us. All right, Chief, if you don't mind, I see lots of people out in our audience. For us, lots of people, it's like 5. So I'm going to jump up the health and wellness proposal from the DPA, if you don't mind.
And I will move out of my seat because I have a
Okay.
PowerPoint.
I'm going
We're
to turn
doing
it.
these out of order.
We're just doing this one out of order so that these nice people don't have to.
Chris, is there anything in here that,
Do you want us up there?
is there anything in here? Ally, do they have anything in the folders?
No.
No?
Just, if you want me to print this out for you after.
No, it's all right.
then-
We're going to, but you know what? Do you
It's
mind if
short,
I move?
it's just an
Yeah, it's all right.
overview. So, EPA formed a committee, there was about 6 of us, to talk to you guys about the health and wellness benefit program. We're interested in possibly getting for members. So basically, we're always looking to enhance the health and wellness of officers, and it's really stressed these days with the accountability bill and officers' lifespan and things like that. So we're just trying to open it up to all of our members and hopefully get more people to work out and be a little more healthy and live a little bit longer. So that's what this is pretty much about. So a couple of us put this together just to tell you guys how we feel. Health and physical fitness of officers affects their motivation. Many employers have seen increased absenteeism as a result of employees' health issues. Absent workers strain resources, reduce productivity, and increase costs. So many organizations are moving to strategies to improve employees' health and fitness and their mental health. And part of that is physical fitness. So that's what we're focusing on here. So the benefits, if you guys want to jump in there, do a great job. Okay. Thanks so much. So improves mental health and physical health. Exercise has been known to aid mood and depression. Physical fitness, more applicable in today's era of police-related use of force incidents. So in this era of policing, we're being forced back to use less lethal force, which then makes us use more hands-on type movements. And to do that, you need to be physically fit, right? So we're hoping that being more physically fit will lessen injuries and illnesses. Less IOD claims, less sick time, things like that. We're at higher risk of suicide, as you guys know. The profession is very mentally straining, and physical fitness, working out, helps with your mental health. So we're losing the battle on emotional survival. Perception is reality. Fit and healthy officers are better able to perform functions mentally and physically. So other DPD versus other PDs. So we are above the rest in most things, right? We have advanced training, equipment, and we want to continue that. So we have very highly competent professional officers. You're never hearing Darien officers really getting into trouble like neighboring towns you've heard in the news recently. We have good community support, and we're very progressive. So we want to continue that. This is officer health and wellness is stressed in a lot of the stuff we're studying now with our promotional exams coming up. For instance, 21st century policing, one of the pillars hits on this, and they outline specifically fitness and nutrition for officers. Also the police accountability bill, right, mental health screenings, and our peer support programs also stress mental health and physical fitness. So officers came to me when we were creating this presentation, they're saying, you know what, we're studying for our exams for promotions, and one of our books we use is Emotional Survival for Law Enforcement, and it's specifically, I put quotes right out of the book on here about how much they really focus on physical fitness, and gym, and going to the gym, and keeping the weight off, and how it affects us. So I don't think I have to read through every quote, but there's 2 pages of them, let's put it that way. Losing 5 to 7% of your body weight, 10 to 14 pounds for a 200-pound person that's getting at least 150 minutes of moderate physical exercise each week, and it reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes. And they say physical fitness is not a luxury for law enforcement officers, it's basically a requirement. So what we have now, officers are allowed to take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they get $100 a month for that. That's offered to any officer. Currently, we have about 3 to 5 officers that use that here and there. 1 or 2 are every month they go, basically. And then
Is that one place? Is that one
Nope.
place that offers, anywhere you want to go, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, $100?
$100
Okay.
a month back, yep. We have our department gym, and then we have the YMCA. So, just to go back to that. So BJJ, you can go wherever you want, like you said. The department gym, it's here. Guys will come before and after their shift. But as you know, most officers don't live in this area. So to travel 30, 45 minutes to work out for an hour and then travel home, it's taking your home life time away, travel, your car, mileage, gas, all that stuff. And the Darien Y, it's a great resource, it is, but some of us, when we want to work out, we don't want to be, we're working out, and you have people come up to you, oh, you gave me a ticket, you arrested me, how about this, how about that? You don't want to be bothered, you're there to kind of like relax and unwind, and although it's amazing and some guys do use it, it's not for everyone. So just an example, Westport is kind of ahead of the game on this. They award each officer up to $3,000 per year for their health and fitness. And they get paid a membership to a local CrossFit gym, which is about $100 a month.
So that's in addition to the 3,000. So 3,000 a year you get in a bank that you can use for
So
personal training.
So Andy actually, do you know the ins and outs? No. So Andy actually
in
put
their
this up,
contract.
but it's in their contract.
Yeah.
He's away this week, so I thought he was gonna be here, he's not. So I don't know the exact, I can get that info for you if you want. So like I had talked about before, the challenges to using what we have available now. BJJ is very intense. Kevin does it, he can talk on it. It's not for everybody. That's like saying, we'll give everyone $100 to do yoga. Well, some people don't like yoga, they don't want to do yoga, so it's hard to just narrow it down to one thing. Like I said, distance from home, work hours, cuts off family time if we're only working out here. Even if you're gonna work out before or after your shift here, that's only on the days you work. So on the days you're off, then what, Or, I don't want to extend my day another 2 hours. I'm already gone 8 hours plus the hour I travel. I don't want to extend it another hour and then fight traffic on the way home. Then your mileage and your gas in your car, the size of the gym. You can only get 2, tops 3 people in there working out at the same time, and then it gets a little tight, especially if you're moving around. It's not like you just stand up, run on the treadmill, and that's all you're doing. You're doing weights, you do a treadmill, you jump rope, whatever. It's tiny. And then, cost of gym memberships these days. So for somebody that does CrossFit, for instance, it's anywhere between $150 to $200 a month. People that do Orange Theory, how much is that? It's even more. $200 a month. It's expensive, and so if we can cut it down at all, most people, there's probably a handful of people that do CrossFit and Orange Theory. Most people are joining Edge, which is $25, right? So it's not that crazy. Or they have Peloton apps, $40. So basically what we're asking for is the same as BJJ, just the $100, up to $100 a month. So if you're going to Fitness Edge and you're paying $15, then you get that $15 back a month. If you're doing CrossFit and you're paying $150, you get the $100. Or a $300 per year reimbursement if you decide you want to buy a treadmill for your house and it's $1,500, well, you'd get $300, but that's all you get for the year. So it's, what we want it for is gym memberships, if you have a Peloton app, if you do yoga classes at home, like any kind of app that benefits you mentally and physically. If you wanted any kind of like nutritionist, that could go to your nutritionist, a weight loss coach.
So,
and-
Elliot, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yep.
300 per year for any one of those 4 categories below.
No. So the $300 would be if you wanted a piece of equipment.
So it's $100 a month.
It's $100 per month for any
I'm sorry.
membership. Yeah.
Got it.
It's like either or.
So $1,200 a year
Up to.
for any one of the 4 below, or $300 one-time reimbursement for a piece of equipment.
Right. So the $1,200 wouldn't go towards a piece of equipment.
Understood.
That's just the
It's
membership.
or,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Can you go back
Sure.
one real quick? Okay. And there would be no requirement for you to actually go to the gym?
So that's up to you. We kind of left it open
To be
because.
reimbursed, you'd have to show, kind of like what we do with BJJ, I have to submit basically my account statement showing that I've paid the amounts and that I've gone in order to get reimbursed, so.
Right, so every 6 months, the guys that go to VJJ, they fill out a form requesting payment, and then they attach their documents that they paid. So even if someone's not going, they're still paying up front, like they're paying for it, right? But if you want a requirement where they go X amount, you let me know. We're willing to negotiate.
Yeah. Okay. And there's nothing in the town's health and wellness policy or plan that has any incentive for any town employee? Gosh.
And is Westport, you obviously posted them, do we know of any other towns far and wide in Connecticut?
I don't believe anyone really besides Westport is doing that. I know other departments have larger gyms or, but no, I don't think so.
Can you print it?
Yep, yeah.
So the max, Ally, if you had to calculate the very, very, very max amount this would cost, it would be 12 per year, 1,200 plus 300 times 51,
No,
No,
1,200
1,200.
per person per year.
If you use 300, then,
Or it'd be like for somebody that doesn't have gym membership, they just run on the treadmill
Right.
at home, that one-time purchase of $300.
So
So
we're
the max it would
maxing out
be
is
is 1,200
1,200
times 51.
Right, but we sent a survey out saying like who has gym memberships, who doesn't and would want it if we got this, and what were there,
It
like
was
27?
overwhelmingly, yes, 27 people were definitely more inclined to partake and go forward in their, improving their fitness if they were incentivized. in some way.
Sorry, Kev, these are people who currently don't have a gym membership and don't work out today, but if we had a program like this,
No,
they said.
it's both. It's either people that
Yeah.
currently have one or that would get one because we have this. It would be about 27, but
so
you have to
people that would
remember.
partake of this.
Who would
stuff-
participate?
Yeah,
in
who would
this.
participate.
It doesn't necessarily, okay,
Right, but you have to remember the $100 is the top, and like I said, most people,
totally get it.
like Fitness Edge and Planet Fitness
Commercial,
is.
lower.
I was gonna say, what is a
It's
normal, since I don't have a gym membership, didn't have to fess up to that, but what is a normal gym? I mean, there's $25 at Edge, is that like the
Yes.
lowest of the low end? Or is that
No,
normal,
I
or
believe
is
Planet
that?
Fitness is even cheaper.
Yes, because my son goes there.
Yeah, I think it's like $10 or $15 a month.
Correct. It
Fitness
is.
Edge is about 26 if you get the membership where you can go anywhere, right? Or classes included. And then how many of us are in CrossFit? Maybe 6.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 do Orange Theory. And those are the higher end where it'd be $100.
And those are, again, like a gym membership, you can go to CrossFit any number of times.
It's unlimited.
Unlimited.
Mhm.
And we don't think everyone would jump in the pond of doing CrossFit or anything of the higher.
It's like if
I
you're
can
not doing it now,
understand.
you're probably not going to.
Ultimately, though, if you can get some people to,
Yeah,
you know,
partake.
like we said before, you know, BJJ may not be for everyone, but the better shape you're in, the better you're able to do your job out there, and it just decreases liability of, you know, anyone getting hurt, so.
Got it, totally got it. All right, any other questions?
No, well done, well done. Ally, do you mind
Yeah.
emailing that?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to, I can
You
email.
can just email to us.
Thank you.
Awesome,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Okay, with that, we are back on correspondence.
You have one item of correspondence in your folder. The commission is aware of this arrest made by Stanford PD involving child pornography last week. And Sergeant Ezio Vigil was instrumental in assisting Stanford PD on mutual aid. So once again, a job well done on cases that are very, very difficult and ones that we don't even really like to think about or talk about, but one that nonetheless is required. And his special skills and investigative techniques with the computer forensics served him well. So I have that letter from Captain Holm and Stanford PD. Maurizio Vigil is with us this afternoon, so I give you my personal thanks and appreciation for your diligent work.
Thanks for
Thank you.
Same from the commission.
Thank you.
Okay, well, only one, but that was a good one. Department activity, Captain?
This was prepared for the period between February 3rd and March 3rd. February 3rd, a 62-year-old Darien man was arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. We responded to 13 incidents involving the theft of catalytic converters from parked vehicles in 8 different locations throughout town. All 8 locations were commercial parking lots. We responded to 1 domestic disturbance call, which resulted in the arrest of a 46-year-old Westport man. Responded to 1 shoplifting incident at Walgreens on Heights Road, in which the suspect fled the scene. Responded to 1 shoplifting incident at CVS, in which officers located a suspect and arrested a 40-year-old female from Weston. 6 incidents of mail or package theft, 3 of which involved the theft of checks and outgoing mail, and 2 of which the checks were deposited fraudulently. 1 residential burglary, 2 incidents involving fraud or phone scams, 2 reported stolen cars which were unlocked with the keys in it, 13 burglaries of motor vehicles that were left unlocked. We had 17 motor vehicle accidents, 7 of which involved minor injuries, 1 involving a pedestrian, which was unfortunately one of our police officers directing traffic. We had 80 traffic stops conducted by the patrol division. And to reinforce, the past week, Sergeant Vigil, who has extensive computer forensics training, assisted the Stanford Police Department in a very serious investigation. And also members of our accident investigation team assisted the Norwalk Police Department in a very serious investigation. Some training points over the past month. We had officers trained in school threat assessments, internal affairs investigations, background investigations, and we currently have one of our female officers at the Rape Aggression Defense Instructor School. That's it.
Did, I don't know, the catalytic converters, did they all of a sudden become more expensive? Or were they sitting on a supply ship somewhere
No,
and people can't get them? Why did
This
that?
type of crime is kind of cyclical in nature. You know, we were quiet for a while, and these only used to take place in train lots when the commuter lots were full. Unfortunately, this is a difficult crime to detect and apprehend, but it only takes somebody less than 60 seconds with a battery-operated Sawzall to be out of the car, to cut that catalytic converter in, throw it in the backseat of your car, and drive away. You know, the palladium and other precious metals that are in catalytic converters, they command a fairly high price, so crime pays on this one until you get caught. But
What's the market for that? Can you take it to a scrap yard and no questions asked, get cash for one of these things?
not any scrap yard around here, but there's certainly scrap yards in the tri-state area who will buy a catalytic converter from you, even if, you know.
Still hot from the car they
Yes,
took it from?
We do have some success, you know, with some stakeout type deterrents. But right now, they're not happening in any one location. They're happening in regular office building parking lots. And I did get a request from, do I have any advice? Well, the only advice really I could have is try to park in a parking lot where there's obvious video surveillance in that parking lot. Not to say that it wouldn't happen there, but it might give you a fighting chance that the perpetrator may decide to go somewhere else if there's obvious cameras monitoring the parking lots.
There's nothing you can do to protect your
It's-
car physically.
Nothing. Usually the people find out when they go to start the car and it sounds like a dump truck underneath them. And it's not here only in Darien, it's every municipality. Again, once up and down I-95 and New York State, every Fairfield County agency, so. Difficult, but we'll keep working on it. I just want to touch base on a couple other things. On the mail theft, New Canaan PD did make an arrest, I think it was last Saturday, of 4 subjects from Staten Island and I think from the Bronx. They were caught in the act of stealing in mail in New Canaan on a Saturday. They did have no mail from Darien that I'm aware of in the car, but other mail from other locations in New Canaan, so.
In outgoing residential
In
boxes.
residential, right.
They're not hitting the post office.
No, not the
Hopefully
post office
secured.
boxes now. So that's an avenue investigation for our investigators as well. We didn't recover, as far as I know, any Darien mail there in New Canaan, but if they were in New Canaan, they were probably here at some point. Again, this is widespread. This is just not a core group of 10 people that are doing this around the tri-state area. These are hundreds of people doing this, maybe thousands of people loosely organized doing this, because it pays sometimes when you're getting checks or whatever in the mail, so we'll keep working on that as well. The police officer investigating, directing traffic in a collision that was on Hoyt Street. Thankfully, she suffered, fairly minor injuries. It was a fairly low-speed collision. But once again, it just shows the danger of being in the road, directing traffic at an previous accident scene. And the operator said that he thought she was waving him on, and she was not waving him on. So, especially when you're driving through our accident scenes, please use extra care to have your friendly police officer not get knocked to the ground. And the accident investigation team used just wanted to point out, they used the Faro machine that was given to us by the Technology Fund, which does the laser.
Darien Foundation.
Right, the Darien Foundation, that does the laser mapping at collision scenes. It can also do internal scenes. Officer DeSantos is here this afternoon as well. He was involved in this. This is a Norwalk homicide. Norwalk does not have one of these pieces of equipment, and they asked us if we could assist with manpower and personnel, which we did, and with the equipment. So clearly it's something that Norwalk is seeking to get. They just don't have one yet. So it's excellent training and operations for our people and assisting mutual aid to Norwalk, and they were highly appreciative of our efforts as well.
Yes, and again, highly appreciative of the Darien Foundation for funding that for us. They have been exceedingly generous to the
Yes, they
police
have.
department over time, and we happy to put the stuff to good use. Unfortunately, we have to use it, but good
And
to have
just
it.
lastly, on the RAD, the Rape Aggression Defense Instructor class, the intent there is to have female officers come back and do self-awareness training and self-defense training for Darien residents. So again, something that you might not think of as a police department's, you don't see it in our list of jobs that we do, but again, we go out and we're looking to keep the populace safe and go above and beyond. to
So
assist
our
residents.
officer would get trained as an instructor and then
Yes.
come and
Correct.
offer.
So when that is ready to go, we will put out we'll put out a news release for sure for people who would want, partake in that training. So it'll probably coming sometime, I think, in the spring.
This is Officer Silva who leading this charge, right?
Yes.
Do I remember that right?
That's correct.
I think we're sending more than one, or some point.
Officer Thurston's there now, so it's going to be the both of them.
Oh, two.
Great, great.
They'll both do a fine job.
Want to touch base on the developments from one of our stolen cars in the past year, the DNA.
Yeah, we can do that under department activity as well. I know if people go back and look at Channel 79, they think it's the chief saying the same thing. Are we watching last month's meeting? No, this is the new meeting, but he's saying the same thing as he said last month. Clearly, the folks here who are watching on Channel 79 or come to our meetings have heard me say this ad nauseum and ad infinitum. Our cars that are being stolen in Darien that are unlocked are being used in violent felonies across the state of Connecticut. We recently got a CODIS hit, which is the DNA database, national database, that gave us a DNA hit on one of our stolen cars from here in Darien. It was conclusively linked to the DNA in another stolen car from the town of New Canaan, I believe from 2019, but it has now been linked to 2 shootings in New Haven. So the DNA in our stolen car, somebody in that car was involved in shootings in New Haven. So although the violent crime that may be connected to these unlocked stolen cars thankfully has not come here yet, it is being facilitated by the cars that are being stolen here simply because the cars are being unlocked with the fobs left in them. So once again, 2022, March. I'm hoping someday I don't have to say, July 2022, that we can get on a different topic. But please, if you're watching this or you're present, please lock your cars and help us help you.
And help our friends in New Haven. Okay. Old business, COVID-19 update.
Well, it was very fortuitous for me today. We have one of our newer dispatchers, and I went down to the dispatch center to have a conversation, and I mentioned to the young lady that I had never seen her without a mask on, although she's worked here for, I don't know, more than 6 months. And so we were maskless, and we were COVID-free, and I hope we remain that way. We did get just today another supply of home tests that we would have for our folks. Hopefully they don't need them, but if they do, I have a supply of them. I'll be putting out an email to our staff if they need 1 or 2, either have on hand or for their families, we can use that as well. I also got another big supply of N95 masks. My fervent hope is they sit on the supply shelf and 5 years from now we can throw them away and we don't need masks anymore, but we have them if we need them. So that came from the state portal as well. So that's it on COVID. Nothing really to report, which is very
Happy
thankful.
to move on.
Building issue updates?
Building issue update. I'd like to move on from that too, but I'll stop there.
Well, let's see. The air conditioning is still a work in progress in the HVAC, right? It is still not fixed. We are still working diligently with DPW to try to get that addressed. We're waiting for a board for a air conditioning compressor on the roof. This computer board is one of these supply chain things. You just can't get it. It's been ordered and it's just not here. They assured me today that they are still working with the vendor to get those issues resolved.
By the time we get it, it's going to be outdated and we're going to be looking for another board.
Is there anything else on building issue? Anything anybody knows?
Major.
All right. Keep at it. Short of swimming out and finding the container ship. New business. Traffic issues. We have 2 items. First is Patton Drive.
I'm assuming the smiling folks in the back are from Patton Drive. Welcome. You can go right from there. You can come up here. Whatever you'd like to do.
We don't have a PowerPoint.
That's all right. Then we don't have to move, so we're good. But we do have a little podium for you.
They did tell me that anyone who came to talk about the fitness thing was going to give me 25 push-ups. That didn't happen.
Remains to be seen. So good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to speak. My name is Neil Phillips. This is my wife, Stephanie Phillips. We live on Patton Drive, which has a serious traffic problem. It's basically a racetrack. Let me pause. Do you know where Patton Drive is? Is everybody familiar with the street? Yeah,
I
okay.
know it well.
The other neighbors have brought it in the past. We're
Yeah.
new to the street. We moved here in July 2020. So I know there was a former neighbor that has presented to you guys previously, and they did advise us that there was a traffic analysis done in 2018. And they have since moved out of town, but they did present it to us, or provided a copy to us. And I know when I reached out to Jen, I know I sent a copy to you, so I don't know if you guys have a copy already. Yeah, okay. So in reviewing it, essentially the findings are that, they did find that there was an issue and they have provided solutions. It doesn't say that to ignore the problem.
Yeah, and essentially, I was reading through the traffic study this morning, and I saw probably 5 or 6 cars zip by just to cut through the street.
Yeah.
It's primarily used as a cut through. And so the traffic study, which we have copies of, if you don't have it,
Yeah.
but essentially it shows that, virtually 95% of the cars that go through the street at peak hours are just cutting through. And, only 3 or 4 cars actually live there, or actually left from the street. And it's concerning. So it's a street that's primarily occupied by families like ourselves that have young kids. We have a 1.5-year-old. Our neighbors have 2 kids. And I would say that more houses than not do have young children who play in their yards, play in the street, or try to. And it's frankly very dangerous, the speed at which cars come down the street. It's sort of a blind turn on the street too, once you turn down it. So one of our neighbors has a big hedgerow, and you basically can't really see around it until you're around it. And many people don't even think about it, and they go 30, 40 miles an hour down the street and aren't thinking about the kids that are there.
Right, in itself, 25 miles, I know that's standard residential speed in most neighborhoods, but it is rather high coming around that corner. Our neighbors, our next door neighbors actually just put a picket fence in front of their house because their daughter, they're terrified of their daughter running out to the street, and they've said, well, the town's ignored it previously, so they feel like they had to, spend a couple $1,000s just to put a fence in front of their yard to protect their child. So, and I know with the new development coming at some point, I feel like I know it's been discussed about changing the traffic signal on West Ave, but I don't feel like that's going to solve the problem because I still think it's going to be used as a cut through to get right into the development at some point. And I oftentimes am trained down the street, and even if there's a green light at West Ave, people are still cutting through Patton. So I don't really think that it's just a traffic signal issue. And the engineer also mentioned that was one solution, but in addition to that, it should be combined with widening West Ave. And I don't see how you could do that. You have to cut into those people's front yard on the corner there. So
Those houses are awfully close to the road, isn't it? Aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
basically the study said the town would have to buy those houses.
Right.
And-
Well,
Yes.
it depends on the rate of, how much right of way. we
Right.
have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the simplest solution, I think there are a few solutions, but the simplest solution seems to be to just dead end the street. And we understand that there is a concern about emergency vehicles passing through, but our understanding based on this study and some of the information provided by our neighbors, that you can have dead end barricades that either break down when emergency vehicles are passing through or otherwise can be removed.
Yeah, collapsible.
Yeah.
There's one on Kensett Lane
Yeah.
Okay.
and in Weber in the back, right?
Yeah, I think they had mentioned more Kelsey and Catherine streets, I think are all similar dead ends. I know Hillcrest, that one, but now that's privatized, where I don't think more Kelsey and Catherine are.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, that, and speaking with other neighbors, that is our preferred solution. I guess,
Sorry, which
that's
one was your, Stephanie, which one was the preferred one?
Dead
Dead
ending
end.
it with the collapsible pillars.
Barrier.
Yeah. I mean, but look, we're open to any ideas, really.
I never really thought about this, but I just remember is reversing the traffic flow.
Yeah, so
That's interesting.
so that it would be that people are coming.
You could only come in off of Hollow Tree.
Yes, and, yes. He mentioned that here, that's
Of
number
one way?
3 in his findings.
One-way westbound, but he
Yes.
hasn't
Reverse-
coming off.
Reverse the no entry. Right.
Does it have any?
Because there would be, then you would essentially eliminate the cut through because you're still gonna have to take a left on, if you're gonna cut through from Hollow Tree, right?
Right.
Go the wrong way.
Right,
You're essentially avoiding taking a left turn at West Avenue. You're still gonna have to make that left turn. As a matter of fact, it's worse now because now you don't have a light, right? You don't have a prayer of making a left turn there.
yeah, I think
Right.
he mentions that his concern would be it would increase, it would potentially
potentially increase traffic during peak hours?
If you were going,
Because he says this is not a recommendation, so I kind of, to be honest.
if you were going northbound around Hollow Tree and the light was red, you're
Mhm.
gonna make the left now onto Patton Drive.
Yes.
Right.
Right?
Well,
You
that,
are.
that's,
Right.
yeah, so
You
that's
need-
true
The
too.
the
But you're
traffic
s-
volume
but
might
you-
be substantially
But Chief,
higher.
you're still gonna have.
You're gonna have to
Doesn't
cross,
matter.
oh, well, I guess it's a red light, I'm thinking you still have to cross, to take the left, you still have to cross in front of traffic on Hollow Tree.
Mhm.
I mean,
To make a left, yeah.
it might not be bad, but it might be.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait for traffic and pull yourself out
Yeah, and my other.
across traffic on West
My other
Ave.
concern would be
That's
that
probably
with the new
not.
development, I don't know how they plan to do entry, but let's say, for example,
Yeah.
they decide to put an entryway right across the street there,
Right.
and then there's
Yeah,
a green
that's
light
true.
and everyone's.
That's just an
gonna
exit,
surface-
it's not on that side, because I was on P and Z when I approved
Okay.
that, so. if
Yeah,
and
Okay.
when
I
Palmer's-
think,
Yeah,
I
but
think
if
they
I know the
want,
plans have changed.
I think they wanted something more, and the answer was no,
Yeah.
right? So,
So the exit is gonna be here.
Right.
Right.
So it's not gonna be directly across from
Mm-mm.
Patton Drive.
And
It's
if
not
you-
gonna be lined up. It's
No.
where it is now, basically.
And I'm thinking, like Chief said, if you're going north on Hollow Tree and you see this is red, you take a left, go down the wrong way.
Yeah, usually.
You're still, you have to, it's actually worse as far as I'm concerned, because now you don't have a light to keep you. And if we put a green arrow there, right, it would actually disincentivize you from going down Patton Drive. I don't know, it's just what I was thinking.
Except you're, I don't know, people's psyche, but a red light is a guaranteed red light. Here, you get here and you hope there's no traffic.
Yeah,
and
you're
you
rolling
just
the
pull it.
dice.
Yeah, right, but most people.
And sometimes
don't.
when there is a red light on Hollow Tree, it backs up so much that I could also see where people just start to.
That's true.
Peel
just-
across.
Yeah,
Right,
if they're at
Yeah,
a dead stop, why not? Just-
especially at school time.
especially at
yeah,
school time.
and-
Right.
and-
Yeah, but you're not really going.
But you're not going
The
up,
flow of
yeah.
traffic isn't going up Hollow Tree, left towards Stanford. Generally, it's going the other way, right? It's either
Yeah.
going up Hollow Tree
Yeah.
towards the schools.
Yeah, it's going up towards the school.
Or it's going southbound on Hollow Tree towards the Post Road or the train station, right? So the majority of the traffic is not taking a left, going north on Hollow Tree and taking a left there.
I would have to see, they'd have to come out and do a traffic study again on that. That seems logical, but I don't know the data.
Having to do that every morning for the last 5 years, yeah.
And we know what happens at school drop-off.
I would hesitate though, well, maybe I'm wrong, but going up north, you take, if you reversed it, you've taken people out of a signaled intersection and put them where they're having to dart across West Avenue to take a left, which seems like in a safety world, a
Or you put a no left turn,
bad trade.
put a no left turn.
Yeah, but if they get all the way
People pay
there,
attention to that.
no one's not taking a left.
You know, then you-
I mean, if you got here and you meant to take a left and you say, oh shoot, it's a no left turn sign, you're going left. Not you particularly.
Yeah.
I am a law-abiding citizen.
The other thing we see all the time is, let's say if we're getting takeout, we see people, like all the Uber guys, they just go the wrong way too.
Oh,
So
there's a
they
lot
just
of-
don't pay attention.
Yeah.
To the
no one's paying
one-way
attention
ness.
to the, yeah, one-way signs, or any signs for that matter. So-
Right, I've had people go the wrong way down the runway, one way, people turn around all the time, not understanding it's a one way because they just don't see the sign.
Yeah.
Stephanie, do you have a, like, if you had to rate some of those recommendations,
Mhm.
one, obviously being dead-ended,
Mhm.
could you kind of like, give me a sense of the ascending list order there?
Yeah, I would say that my next preferred one would be the choke points, which is number 6. And our former neighbor also provided let me see if I can pull it up
Yeah,
for a
provided-
picture to show it's.
While you're doing that, can I ask another question? Obviously, you two are here. Do we have something from all the neighbors, some of the neighbors, or?
I don't, because we just started, we wanted to start with you guys first.
Okay.
I know in the past, because of the fact that when this was last reviewed, we've had a lot of turnover in the
Yeah, no, I
neighborhood.
appreciate
So I figured,
Okay.
you know, the list that they had, but I do know the majority of them are, as far as I know, I sent out a group chat letting them know that I was coming here, and no one
And anecdotally, you know, the neighbors have said somebody's just gonna get run over someday.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah.
From almost every street. We get it, right?
Yeah.
We get it. It's not something that we don't hear on a regular basis.
Chief, on
But
a
I
street
think-
like, I'm sorry,
No,
on a
no.
street like Patton Drive, what would a choke point look like?
I'm trying to pull that up, I apologize.
It would be like a bump out curb
Well,
line that
but
would
they
have,
have
you know, grass in it.
Ah.
Where you kind of, instead of going straight, you have to kind of go around like a little bit of an S.
It's like an escalator.
So you built out
You
a
build it
little,
out, yeah.
This is kind of what one of the neighbors was looking for,
Mhm.
trying to bring us up.
Just like build out a berm,
If I
right?
remember
Yeah,
correctly,
it's-
there's still a lot of on-street parking on Patton Drive?
So
Yeah.
I mean, there hasn't been because of the fact that no one's been, hasn't been commuting as much. We have a sign out in our front yard that I don't really personally
Just
feel
a
is
choke point.
necessary, and in fact, it's like almost falling over. So.
wait, so there is on-street
not-
parking?
No, I
No.
have not noticed any on-street parking.
But it's I'm just saying, it's allowable, on-street
It
parking?
is,
Two
there's a
hours.
2-hour
2
max.
hours, yeah.
Because we had to solve the issue with everyone not wanting to pay for parking was parking on Patton Drive. When-
Yeah. we
And
have-
walking to
So
the train
in
station?
my time, it
Yeah.
went down from an unlimited parking to a 2-hour parking.
One side, both sides?
You can park on both
Both
sides.
sides?
Yeah, it's-
I don't know how, I've
There's-
forgotten how wide it
The
is.
issue is that if we knock parking out on one side as often as requested, when you folks have a dinner party, you know, you have to park on only one side.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Well, they haven't even brought it up as an issue, I was just trying to get a
So,
sense of the,
Just to the point of the potential for collapsible bollards. Now, the streets you mentioned going down West Avenue, all those streets that are dead-ended onto the railroad tracks at one point in history were driveways.
Okay.
That's what they were at one point in history. Now, 18 whatever, when the railroad went through, that's why those are dead-ended, right? So right now on that dead end, a school bus cannot go down there. So if Patton Drive was dead-ended, the school bus could not go onto Patton Drive.
Yes, I did hear about
Because
that.
it cannot back up.
Right.
The
Yep.
fire marshal and the fire commission, I don't think that they will allow dead ending of a road unless there's a cul-de-sac for that machinery and their apparatus to turn around without backing up. I'm not so sure we have the real estate on either end of Patton Drive for that to occur. But if it was dead-ended, either permanently or with a collapsible type, a school bus will not be able to go on Patton Drive. The pickup for all kids on Patton Drive would have to be at one end or the other.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
we were aware of that because of our neighbors told us, and my understanding was that everyone on the street was okay with that except the people that previously owned our house, so
Yeah.
I think we.
They're gone. No, yeah. But
Kind of
I-
taken their place, and in my opinion, I'm okay
So
with
we
walking
try to-
the street if it means
Yeah.
protting my daughter from getting.
And I mean,
run
look,
over.
That's where
I
the
think we would be
bollards are on West.
happy to take on the onus of polling the neighbors and getting
And that
some.
would be, I think, the next step
would be the next
recommendation.
step.
Now,
Yeah.
Let me also say that and I was involved with both of these projects on Heights Road, and we did require the developers to do extensive signalization and phasing changes, right? Including video detection, which is going to be at that intersection. Video detection, the way it works when it's working properly, and it's much better than what we've had in the past, right? There's no digging into the road anymore and putting an electric wire in there
Yeah.
to trip it. So if West Avenue is sensing additional cars coming, West Avenue stays green for longer, and it doesn't trip to the side street, right? So if you're coming down West Avenue at high times of high commuter traffic, West Avenue is gonna know to stay longer green, and people are not gonna have to make that turn so much once they get used to knowing, oh, I'm not gonna hit this light, I'm gonna make it through because of what it is. Is it gonna solve the problem? Not totally, but it is gonna make it better.
well, no, 'cause this is what
I'm waiting
Yeah.
to see,
Let's put it this way.
because we're getting traffic enhancements not only at that intersection, we're getting traffic enhancements at Western Road. It is getting a new turn lane, and signalization through that whole corridor that is supposed to be working together to move traffic, where people are not getting frustrated, right? And have to cut through because they're frustrated, they know the light's gonna change to red.
Yeah.
During
Yeah.
school
I
time.
think that's probably the next step that I would say that we need to look at, and unfortunately, because of
Got
COVID,
it, 'cause I'm thinking.
Federal Realty kind of still kept going, but Palmer's kind
Right.
of stalled a
Yeah.
little bit.
So,
And
Come on.
that's our concern too, is how much longer, because when we moved in,
Yeah.
we thought that the development was gonna be done.
Done.
A few months,
Yeah.
and then it's continued, and as I talk to more people, oh yeah, you know, that's been going on for years, so.
My
I
understanding
would love to
is
wait for the traffic signal, but.
they're ready to put a shovel in the ground again. I think they're at that location.
I don't know the latest, so I trust you, but
Chief,
Yes,
if
sir.
you're coming from Stamford on West Avenue, you get to the intersection of West and Hollow Tree.
Mhm.
There is no right on red at that signal, is that correct?
That's correct. That is,
Because that house on the north side is right on the corner there. That's a terrible
well,
sight
people are
line.
coming
And it-
fast down that
and the
hill.
reason it's no turn on red, that it's an exclusive pedestrian phase equipped crosswalk.
Correct.
Okay.
So you cannot have a right turn on red in an exclusive pedestrian phase, but it's telling you to cross now.
Right.
And that is supposed to be assuring the pedestrian that there will be no vehicular movement while that phase is on.
Mm.
So that's why that is there. And it's in the school zone.
Yeah, and that's a
Makes a lot of sense.
tricky
Yeah.
intersection as a pedestrian, yeah.
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 Currently,
Well,
as
and
it
the
is.
cars are
Yes, yeah.
I see
buzzing.
a lot of times where people push the button, but they don't wait.
People are gonna
Yeah.
hate it.
You know,
now.
well, the last collision that we had there was somebody
Crosswalk
pushed the
out
button and didn't wait.
There's no right on red.
If you wait, in theory, unless the equipment is malfunctioning, which is
Front of
rare,
Mama's.
you're not supposed to be, there's no chance of a collision happening if everybody obeys the basic synopsis. The hand and man, it's called, right? When the man is on, you cross. When the hand is up, you don't.
Right.
And we have very few of those intersections. I want more of those exclusive pedestrian phase intersections, just for that reason.
Yeah.
But when you do get that, there is a trade-off that the traffic
Right.
stops and people might want to make the turn. It's always a balancing act.
Yep.
That's always what it is.
We're gonna find out at Norotan Heights,
I
because
keep the
people are
ball-
gonna be, that's gonna be a learning curve of people not taking right on red when we get that crosswalk in front of Mama Carmela's there. If we finally get that one. Okay, so, I just wanna make sure, neighbors,
Yep.
that's.
Rank order
Okay.
from the neighbors too. That would be
Oh.
super helpful.
You know? The bump outs are a proven treatment. It does make it a little bit more difficult for DPW to plow
Yeah.
and salt
Right.
and for buses to get through.
Well, I was gonna say, we have to, before
But-
we would do
but,
any
you
of that,
know,
there are other people to check with.
Oh,
that
yeah.
can get around those, and how wide the road is, and how wide those would be, and all. We have some work to do.
So do you want a list of the neighbors that are just in agreement with even reviewing this as a
Just a
matter, or
consensus,
just?
just a
Okay.
general
Yeah,
consensus.
okay.
And how they rank. these
Yeah,
options.
right, yeah. Okay.
I would personally be interested to hear how, you know, if, by percentage, if it was closed off at one end, is there a consensus of what end people would want to come to their house? For sure?
Right,
People say,
or-
yeah, even though I'm coming from Stamford, I know I have to go down to Hollow Tree and I gotta make a right and I gotta make a right, or
Yeah.
if I'm coming from the train station now, I can't get home anymore, I gotta go up all the way around and back in again.
So we'll ask that too, we'll say, you know, if dead end, which end?
Clearly neighbors can't come in the wrong way just because they're neighbors.
Yeah.
Well, there would be a collapsible thing to, I mean, if it were dead-ended.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any room, I don't think you could literally put up trees and, I mean, there's no, the only alternative is collapsible barriers, because we don't have an ability to have,
And anytime it's even consideration for
Vehicles.
closing a public road, a traffic study has to be undertaken to show what the traffic impact is now on the other roads.
correct?
But now the people maybe from West Avenue go, yeah, well, we don't want another 50 cars coming by. It might have not come by my house if they didn't
Right.
go that way. And everyone's heard me say this time and time again too, our roadway system was developed before the advent of vehicles and internal combustion, right? We wouldn't develop roadway systems like we have now here in Darien. They've gotten bigger and wider, and at one point, West Avenue, I think, was called Stamford Road, and it was dirt, and it probably was one lane, which is what it was, you know, prior to, you know, the railroad coming through.
The chief took his patrol pony. You took your patrol pony down there?
I took my ox and cart, and we went on patrol.
Exactly.
In black and white. We had no shoes.
Uphill both ways, I
Your
guess.
musket.
I basically had a musket. Not that far.
Okay, well, we appreciate you guys
Thank you.
coming, and we will keep chatting and
Yeah.
see
Appreciate it.
where we can go from here.
Great, thank you all so
guys.
much.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you both.
This
Welcome
is
to Darien.
typically overseen by the Administrative Services Captain and the
Okay.
Traffic Division, which
Right.
we have neither of right now.
Yes, I was made aware of that, so
So it can
yes,
come
I
to Captain Marin or to me.
Okay.
Or,
Okay.
just make sure that if you, whoever you send it to, said we were here at the meeting and this needs to get to
Okay.
whoever needs to be pinch hitting until we get these positions filled again.
Okay, got it. Thanks
Thank you
for
for having me,
Thank
folks.
you.
Thanks.
We'll be in touch.
Okay, update on Hoyt Street traffic concerns.
I thought the folks from Hoyt Street might be here tonight because we're still in the same kind
Alright,
of
well, we can table it to
issue
next
that we
time.
always have, but I just want to update the commission that under Commissioner Cunningham, I think, knows this, that I did make a request for ARPA funds for dynamic speed signs on Upper Hoyt Street. I submitted that to the town as well as the request for the improvements to the sidewalk at Norotan and Post and Norotan and Hecker that are going to be required for the state to put the exclusive pedestrian phase in. So those are pending. I don't know if we'll get funded for that. I hope we do. I think we've made a very reasonable and cogent argument that we can have some of that money for not so much even police department function, but just public safety function and pedestrian safety and vehicular safety up on Upper Hoyt Street. So I'll keep you posted on where those funds, if they get earmarked for that, those two projects. I'm hoping they do.
Okay. Sidewalk sales, July 14th through 16th.
You'll see in your packet a request from the Chamber of Commerce, the executive director. This has been, sidewalk sales have been going on since the roads, I think, were dirt. So there's no real change here. They're asking for two things. They're asking for fairly lenient enforcement of parking and, sidewalk safety. We want to make it safe, but clearly we will ensure that it's safe. But they're also asking, as they always have, to close Day Street on Saturday, July 16th. That's for the tents. We've done that in the past. I would recommend that we, the commission, approve sidewalk sales days in total and also the closing down of Day Street on Saturday, July 16th. Our maintenance folks usually drop off the barricades and cones down there the day before. And it's pretty straightforward. I don't see any real changes to sidewalk sales. It's always going fairly smoothly. I see no downside of the commission approving it once again.
I have no issues. I feel like I have been here since the chief was carrying a musket and joined the sidewalk sales. So I make a motion that we approve the sidewalk sale event and the resulting closures and signage and anything else that they require, July 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Second.
Any discussion? Nope. All in favor? Aye. I see we had a planning and zoning, but that's of no consequence to
Yeah,
us.
that's just an FYI.
FYI. With that, we,
It's a new gym going in.
New gym.
That's what it is.
Okay, we are to the end. Do we have another meeting? We're at the 3rd. Do we have anything big coming up on our agendas, or should we skip over to the 31st?
31st, I am at the FBI National Leadership Summit in Virginia. You
Excellent.
could still have a meeting.
No, we can't do it without you, chief. Are this, Jen,
Actually, the meetings are the 1st and the 3rd.
oh, so the 7th.
Thursdays of the month.
Oh, we had an extra Thursday, so why don't we say the 7th? That work for
I'm checking.
anyone, everybody?
We're saying April.
April 7th, because we have 3 Thursdays in, 1, 2, 5.
Our next
5
regular
Thursdays.
meeting would have been the 24th, though, correct?
No, 17th.
17th.
Oh, the 17th.
That's regular.
No, 'cause- yes, right,
So
today's a special
then
meeting.
we have the 7th. If we skip the next regularly scheduled meeting, Then the next regularly scheduled meeting, according to Jan's nice circles, is April 7th.
That's fine with me.
Do I hear?
Stand by.
Stand by. It's hard to believe we're
Yeah,
only
that's
the
fine.
first week of March. Goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 o'clock, April 7th, we will check with Commissioner Hayes.
He's overseeing the Queen.
Hopefully, Salvin's.
back.
It's nice to skip vacation week too. No, it's not. All right, with that, I will adjourn the meeting.